So I know it's frustrating applying to 10, 20, 50, maybe 100 roles and just hearing nothing back. After a while, it does feel personal, but the truth is that you're not bad at what you do. You're just not presenting yourself in the most optimal way. So in this video, I'm going to break down the biggest reasons why you might be getting overlooked and how we can fix them, because we want you to get noticed. Number one, your formatting on your CV or your resume doesn't hook the hiring manager. So the goal of your CV is not to get hired on the spot like that without getting an interview. It's kind of to get an interview, to get yourself on a call with them. So we want to hook them straight away. We don't want to give them our whole life story. We want to at least just convince them to get on a call with us, to chat with us. And then once we do that, it's a little bit easier. So that means your number one priority is to hook the hiring manager. Why should they get you on a call rather than the 200 other people that have applied? Less is more. Just cut the filler. Every single point needs to directly show them why you are great for this specific role. And luckily, they detail what they want from a role on their job board, on their job listing. But yeah, that does mean you should tailor your CV for every role that you apply to. I know it takes time, but if you do this, you have a higher chance of hooking them in and really speaking directly to what they desire from you rather than just generically across the board. Instead of showing them a list of skills, show them how you can solve their direct problems, their direct issues. And, feel free to ask what their problems are, especially if you do manage to get an interview, so you can delve deeper into that. But to begin with, a lot of the time, we just have to go by what the job listing is. And great if we can contact the hiring manager, but we can't always do that. So we need to really analyze that listing, and we need to tell them how we're going to solve these problems for them, not just, again, listing generic things or skills. And you could write some really great text and some really great bullet points on how you've managed to do this thing they're asking for from different companies or different experiences in the past. But that's all gone to waste if you don't format your CV properly, if you don't format your CV in a way that they can actually see what you've written, rather than just having like a whole big wall of text. So make sure you make it visible and scannable, like highlight things that you really want them to see. Use different font heights, weights, so that they can actually size, so they can actually see what you're looking at. Have titles, have subtitles, have body text, have tags, have things that they can actually visually see the importance of them and not be overwhelmed in just a big kind of Word document of text. Like if you're not good at design, that's totally cool. Go on Canva and you can find templates that you can change. You can use templates in other places. I'm just mentioning Canva because I feel like it's something that's a little bit easier to edit for every person, but there are loads of templates out there. Just pick one that visually speaks to you and you feel is simple. I think simplicity is good in this way, and it kind of jumps out of you and you feel like you can fit the content you want to fit in it well. So again, we don't want to overwhelm them with every detail. I've seen community managers with a lot of experience, especially ones that have experience elsewhere, because a lot of the time we are kind of jack of all trades. Like I've seen someone who has social media, marketing, community, and they often go for all those 3 different roles and use the same CV or the same portfolio. And what happens is they get a bit confused. Like they might be looking for someone who's just really good at what they do, not a generalist. They don't want to feel like you know a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but they're not interested in those 2 things. They just want to know that you're really good at this one thing that they want from you, or a few things that they want from you. So you need to really target those and really hit those, and don't get distracted by all of the other things that you can do for them. So this brings me to another point. Use your transferable skills. You might not have specific skills in community management yet. You might have not had a role in that yet, and that's totally cool. Everyone starts somewhere. That's why we need to communicate directly what we have achieved in the past with what they want, but it doesn't have to be the exact direct same thing. It just needs to be highly related and relevant. So for example, if onboarding or offboarding is an extremely valuable thing to them, find a way to pull other experiences into that. So maybe you've been a teacher and you've done a lot of that already. or in even retail, maybe done a lot of onboarding, whatever that is, you can really just think out of the box and pull that together. Your old job titles don't matter. It's the things that you've done, the experiences that you've gained, the expertise that you've gained, and how you pull that into this role and what they want from you. You just need to prove that you can do what they are asking you to do. Community managers come from so many different backgrounds. There's not a right way of going into this. So that's good for you because it means there's no specific standard right now. So you can really think out the box and be creative with how you showcase that to them. Just don't dismiss your past experience, whatever that is. And if you really feel like you're lacking experience right now, that might be a great time for you to seek other roles, not necessarily just community manager roles. Maybe if you're lucky, you could find an intern community manager role. I've only ever seen a few of those myself, but they're definitely out there. You could find more moderator or even customer service. It might not be exactly what you want, but you need to gain this experience in order to show that you have the transferable skills. And, maybe that is volunteering. If you do go down the volunteering route, I wouldn't recommend doing it for any longer that you feel like you've gained all that you can from it, because going unpaid isn't ideal. You just want to learn from it. And then once you've learned all you can, be a little bit selfish in the way that you need to move on and you need to find yourself another experience to move on to and learn from more. And ideally that is paid. So next, you need to learn how to talk in business language. I've seen community managers, aspiring and experienced, talk about community management and what they do in a very kind of airy-fairy way and not linking specific to business goals. So this is, again, what we've been talking about already. We need to demonstrate that we can achieve what they want to achieve. It's not just making members happy. We want to go deeper into that. We want to understand what they actually want from us. If you write things like, I ran events, I engaged people in Discord, I was a moderator, just generally, it doesn't really mean much. The outcome isn't there, and you're not connecting that with what they as a business really wants from you. So instead, link it to things that that business would want, that you think they would want if it's not clear. For example, you've improved retention by X amount using an onboarding system, or you built an onboarding system. You reduce support tickets by X amount by building a peer-to-peer feedback channel. You increased customer satisfaction or ratings, and you can show those ratings and how you managed to achieve that. So link them ideally to even a specific metric, and what you actually did for the business, not just keeping members happy. It's the same work, but it's just framed differently. And you go from someone who just sounds kind of generic to someone who really understands what they're talking about and someone who sounds strategic. So point 4 is a little different. Yes, you're lost in a sea of other people who are trying to do the same thing as you. And we can't really stop that. Like, other people are going to apply to the same roles that you do, and that's totally cool. It's just, you need to remember that other people are applying, and therefore it's not just about your application, it's also about the other people who are. Because I've had instances where there's been one role and I've had to hire one person for that one role, and we have like 3 or 4 great applicants, and each of those are great. Each of those people deserve the role, they'll be perfect for it, but there's only one spot. So in that case, it's just not just about you, it's about the other people who are applying at that time. So to me, the best thing you can do for yourself is, yes, continue applying the traditional route and to continue to do that, don't stop doing that, but give yourself other opportunities in a way that other people aren't doing. Don't compete with everyone at once. Reach out to businesses with half-dead communities or no community at all. Not ones with current thriving community managers, because you don't want to be stealing their role. Businesses that actually need you and would, benefit from you. They might not realize it, or they might do, you just don't know it. And you want to approach them in a sense that you want to share with them how they could really build something here, not in a salesy way. People repel sales. You don't want to come across like you're selling yourself or selling anyone or just handing over your CV. You want to be genuinely helpful. Come across like you're genuinely trying to give them ideas of how they could grow their business using a community and how they could grow a great community and what that would mean for them. And if you manage to get them on a call and help them understand that, then they automatically would want you. They want you to be the person to do that for them because you've been the one to educate them with that. And I've done this myself, and that's how I got my role currently. And I think I applied to like 50 or 100 roles, the traditional route, and that's fine. Again, don't disregard that. Continue doing that. That didn't work for me at the time. And it wasn't anything to do with my skills or my experience. It just because I was competing against a lot of different people. And so I took it upon myself to go this other route and seek out those opportunities. And I think I did that with 2 businesses and I got a role in 1. So I would recommend trying that out too. Just remember to specifically target what that business wants, the same way that we have discussed with applying to roles. You don't want to go in there generically. You want to actually look into what they're doing, look into their community if they already have one, and really just delve deeply into what they specifically would benefit from a community and benefit from you. Sometimes you just need to do what nobody else is doing to stand out and to get what you want. And that might be freelance, it might be contract, it might be full-time employment, it might be contract work, it might be a lot of different things, you don't know, but you don't have those opportunities if you don't put yourself out there. And if they're not ready now, they might be ready later. So if your applications aren't getting you anywhere, you aren't getting callbacks, you aren't getting interviews, don't fall into the trap of thinking that you're not good enough. You are good enough. You just need to reframe how you're doing it to give yourself the best chance. You need to hook them straight away. And you need to get rid of all this details that don't matter. You need to reframe it for every single business that you're targeting, and you need to try it the traditional route by finding roles and ideally finding roles and creating opportunities yourself, that different route that I just talked about. If you do that, you're already ahead of most people. You're not competing against absolutely everyone at the same time. So if you're tired of being ignored and you want to understand how to succeed in your role, I've created a free 30-day plan, which is in the description as usual. Feel free to pick that up. And there's also a Discord community if you want to ask any questions. I'm always available if you want to ask those questions. And yeah,